if you know anything about E36 window motors, they crap out all the time. I don't know what anybody else's experience is, but mine has been that the motor itself still runs, it just won't drive the gear anymore, which is generally because of a set of broken tabs inside the actual gear itself. So essentially, if you want to get to this point, get the motor out of the window regulator itself, you can watch another video to figure out how to do that. Take off, I think there's 4 or 5 screws right here, and there's a little circlip. You've got to be careful with a screwdriver when you pop this off. Make sure you don't lose it, because if you lose that, you're not gonna, there's no point in doing the rest of it. You're gonna have to buy a new motor or whatever. Pop that off. You have this off, then this entire gear assembly will come out of here. This gear will pop off. There's also a small metal washer that will be attached to the bottom of this plastic gear with a little bit of grease. Just take the gear, that washer, and your little spring clip, set those aside. All you really want are these pieces right here. So I'm gonna set these aside. There's a little rubber assembly in here that essentially absorbs the extra shock so that it has a place to stop that's not, you know, really hard. It's got a little bit of a rubber bumper. Essentially, we're going to recreate that with some permanently flexible Goop Max 2 all-weather adhesive. This is a $10 fix, folks. I don't know if you've looked online, but a crappy replacement motor is about $80, $90. An OEM motor is not even in the budget at all. So we're going to see what we can do with a motor that's essentially junk to anybody, including me anyway. We have 3 832 by 3/8 inch longs. These are hex head screws, little square heads. That's what we're going to be using. We're going to drill some holes in this to engage in that. Well, I'll show you how it's going to go together. But essentially, first thing I want to do is take a 9/64 drill bit, which is just slightly smaller than the holes in this plastic piece right here, and I'm going to drill all 3 of these straight through, essentially, so I have pilot holes to drill holes down into this. So take your drill bit on your drill, definitely drill into your flesh. Oh yeah, see, into the flesh, just like that, and then go around the outside of it. So what this is going to do is give us pilot holes, so we know exactly where our holes are going to be going into this plastic down here, in addition to giving us a little bit more thread engagement onto our screws that are going to be poking out of this. Now we're going to drop that in here, set it down nice where you think it wants to be. Whatever, doesn't really matter. Just make sure whenever you put it in there, it's sitting flat, because there's where those wings used to be, it's not going to be as happy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through the other way and drill holes in the white plastic again. Watch your fingers. That's good plastic. Ooh, there we go. Just dole the drill bit up straight into the workbench, right? I'm not going to advocate that this is the safest way to get this done, but this is how we're doing it. Alright. Now, we have cross-drilled holes, and hey, we actually did pretty good, right square in the middle of all that. So there's actually a little bit more meat there than I thought there was going to be. What the goal here is, we're going to take these 3 screws and use them to kind of create an engagement into this drive wheel in the back. And one thing that you do have to be careful of when you're sort of messing with this idea is that there's a ridge on the inside of this drive wheel and a ridge inside here, and that's kind of what helps keep everything from wandering around when this worm gear is pushing against the outside of it. So you just sort of kind of got to be aware of that, that you don't want to get anything that's going to push off of that whenever you go to reassemble it back together the other way. All right. Step it down. I think second step, third step. I don't know. Let's just see how she feels. Vapor, harmful, possible cancer agent. Fantastic. So we're going to take this, squish a bunch of it in here. All right. 9/64 Allen wrench. What do you know? Very clear. Okay. Let's just. Together. So, you know, not a whole bunch of space around each one of these. I'm hoping that that'll, you know, absorb whatever it needs to absorb in the small space that I've allowed it to, and, you know, drive this thing up and down. But it's definitely securely locked together. It's definitely going to drive the window up and down. Put that on there. Put this in there. Gear. Like so. A little snap ring. Just like that. Slap the cover on. Put it back in the car. It's fixed.